Friday already. The week is over. The weekend has started. Just now is election. Just now is the month of April. Is it April? No. Just now is the month of May. March. Let me count. January, February, March, April, May. So just now is the month of May, people. Elections is April the 28th. So let us start this thing right. All you see my colors is red, black, and white because it's about Trinidad and Tobago. It's country before party. Hi Shireen, Roxanne, Larry, Christopher, all those who will come and hang with me for the next 2 hours. There's so much. Thank you all. Hi Kenneth. Thank you all for always being there with me. I tell you all again, I may not know you all personally, but just the idea that you all taking time off from your whatever you're doing to come to listen to me. Hi Augustus. I'm always blessed and I always am thankful for it, right? So people, let me start one time. Just saw you on YouTube. You just saw me on YouTube. Pay yours. I'm Ting. Hey Christopher. Papa. So you know we just start the ting. I just say the pledge. Nearly forget that. Hi Sharon. Hi Carol. Carolyn. I solemnly pledge to dedicate my life to the service of my God and my country. I'll honor my parents, my teachers, my leaders, my elders, and those in authority. I'll be clean and honest in all my thoughts, my words, and my deeds, and I'll strive in everything I do to work together with my fellow men of every creed and race for the greater happiness of all and the honor and glory of my country. And I do love my country. Hi, Miss Yvette. Hi, Lystra. Come on in. We have things to talk, you know, because election in the air, and you all need to understand how serious this is. This is not no time for no joke, you know. It's a new chapter. But before we get into it, I just want to give a shout out to the students who set the SEA exam yesterday. And I want to tell them, at the end of the day, the school is a building, as the children and how they behave in the school that makes the school prestigious or whatever they want to call it, and have a bad name and all that is based on the behavior of the children in the school. Don't matter what school you pass for, you're going there to learn. That's the first thing you must remember. You would have peer pressure, of course. You would have people who, long time we used to call it pecan. Now it's called, and we used to call it teasing. Now it's called bullying. Report it. And those who feel inclined to do that, please don't. If you need any assistance or whatever, speak to your teachers in school. They are now school social workers, and I want to thank the Ministry of Education under Dr. Naim Gaspi-Dolly for bringing back on the school social workers who are there assisting in schools with children who have challenges. Get the children involved in that, talk to a school social worker. Don't hold it in. Again, you go to learn to the parents. This is not about you. Whatever school the child pass for is not about showing off to go and tell people my child passed to the school or feeling shame because they didn't pass to the school. It's not about all you. And to the students, if you did not prepare yourself when mommy and daddy was telling you get off the tablet, get off the TikTok, and miss was talking to you in class, you wasn't doing homework, all that, then you cannot be upset when you see your grades reflected that the school of your choice is not the one you passed to, right? So putting all that in perspective, I want to just again wish all the SCA students much success. It don't matter what school you pass for, it's about going and applying yourself. I know my children went to junior sec, my children went to comprehensive, my children have their degrees, my children are doing well, they are professionals. So the school is not the issue, it's how you apply yourself and how parents support, how the PTA support, how the teachers support. So it's a holistic thing, right? So let me continue from there. Oh, I also saw MP Shamfa Kojo, Minister of Sports and Community Development, speaking about what would have happened in Tobago. She said that parents were calling her because there are concessions that are given to students by Ministry of Education to children who have learning disabilities. So a child may be autistic and doing the exam or have any other learning ability. They are granted concessions by the Ministry of Education where they are in another room supervised by somebody who is trained in that area of education, that they are able not to tell them what to do, whatever, but to make sure. For example, I was hearing, I know somebody who was a part of the concession working with a child who is autistic. So the person was there in the class with the child to do the exam. And because the child have a history of just stopping what they're doing and just wandering off in the, looking around all that, the person was there to say, listen, remember you're doing an exam to get the child back to focus. And they have the break time they will get, and then they still, whatever break time they take, it will be added. It won't be taken away from the time that the exam is supposed to be finished, because of course they are children who would have special needs. So those things will, again, coming out of the Ministry of Education under Dr. Dime Dolly Gasly, some good things are happening. So MP for Tobago, I just can't remember if it's East or West, but it is Mrs. Shamfa Kojo Lewis. She did a live and was saying that parents were calling her because some of them had children who were given concessions because of their learning abilities, and they were told by, I think, invigilators, if I'm not mistaken, that they wouldn't be able to do the exam because there was no clock. And she was saying something like a clock that they don't have. When these children were already, the division should have known, the THA Education Division ought to have known that these are the children who are going to be dealt with under the special concession, and they would need XYZ, but it wasn't there. And eventually the parents had to leave. They asked the person, could you not use your phone? They say, you can't use your phone because it had TikTok, and then the parents decided, okay, take our watch and use the watch. So she was complaining about that, and then I see the Secretary for Education from tutors basically saying something to the effect that she shouldn't have gone out and done that or whatever. But you have to understand something. You are a member of parliament. Your child is a special needs child with learning. Yesterday was the day of the exams. You know that there are things to put in place for the child because you already went through the process to get the concessions. And when the child turned up, you remember these children are already anxious. Children who are quote-unquote normal are already anxious and nervous and all that kind of thing. Imagine a child who has a special ability and knowing that they can't say the exam now after they went through all that. That child and that parents will be distraught. Who they will call, of course, who they think will be able to help? The member of parliament. So they call, and she did the most responsible thing, I think, in my opinion. Let it be known that this has happened and don't let this happen again, because these children are children who need some special attention. And if you are telling them on the day they come to sit the exam after they would have studied, going through all the things they go through, that they can't do the exam, that would be a traumatic thing for them. So should have mentioned it, and the parents decided to leave their watches or give their watch so that the invigilator will be able to use it and all that. So let's hope everything goes well with those children, that it didn't disadvantage them any further, and that they're able to get the results that they're looking forward to. Right. So let me continue. I'm also seeing that for the Lopino, always so much thing I just have to look through, so I take my time and write. So I'm seeing that's the constituency of Member of Parliament Marvin Gonzalez, who is now the Minister of National Security. And he is saying here, hi Donna, hi Cheryl, hi Glennis. I'm seeing here that this was 19 hours ago in the Guardian. Of course, it's not 19 hours now. It will be more than that. And it says here, Lupino Historical Center to be open soon, says Gonzalez. The 15 million Lupino Historical Center is expected to be completed in 2 or 3 weeks. The the People's National Movement, PNM Aruka Lupino candidate Marvin Gonzalez is hoping it will be open before the general elections, because that's something we feel very passionate about, Gonzalez said in his address at Wednesday's PNM election campaign meeting in Lupino. Gonzalez detailed a number of projects in the constituency, included the Tony Ravine Road. He said the Lupino Historical Center was in an advanced stage of completion and he was looking forward to commissioning it in the coming weeks. When I walked into this community 3 or 4 years ago, one of the first complaints after water was the state of the Lupino Historical Site. I lobbied my colleagues in the cabinet and brought a cabinet note with the support of the tourism minister, who did great work to ensure its full restoration. I told the people of Lupino that this historical site isn't only for you, but it's all of Trinidad and Tobago, as well as when we went to schools, we learned of the Lupino Historical Site. And when children travel from all over to come up to this road to visit the site, it represents you. With God's help and the cabinets, a budget of 50 million was allocated for the full restoration, which will become a reality for you, the people of Lupino, he said. Adding work has also started for the upgrade of the Lupino main road. Gonzalez asked constituents to imagine what would have happened if they had chosen UNC Jack Warner as MP instead in 2020. I put him in the little juicy word, strong language, blasted box, Gonzalez declared. So there is some news coming out there from Lupino. Hi, Sha. From all up in Ohio, thank you, darling. Thanks for staying locked on. So when we got the news from a press conference by Prime Minister Stuart Young that just a minute, I'm just sliding back. Okay, right. That President Trump and his administration would have canceled the OFAC license. Now remember, this license was given by the U.S. Treasury Department or something, so it was given by America. Yeah, it was given by America, by the U.S. Trinidad and just run up into it on their own, them and Venezuela and do their thing on their own. The license was given by America under another administration, right? Excuse me. So when they heard the detractors in Trinidad, the opposition and those who wish nothing well for Trinidad and Tobago, when they heard that there was a cancellation of the contracts, oh my Lord, they had all the laughing emojis and oh God, you see what happened, and they went to Venezuela and blah 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 blah, and operating as though it would affect PNM supporters alone and not Trinidad and Tobago, which include them, whether you're PDP, UNC, PE, PF, wherever. It affects you because you're a citizen of Trinidad and Tobago. And not only that, they operated as though we already were getting gas from Dragon, so it turned off now. So God, we're in a mess. And then they started to act again as though we were just dependent on the Dragon gas. Not understanding or pretending they don't know that we have other gas projects on our territory, our land, that is happening and has been going on, right? So all our eggs weren't in one basket. So I want to just show them how this is not a Trinidad and Tobago thing. This is a world thing that is affecting everybody, because the Trump administration is doing things that are affecting countries all over the world. So it's not a Trinidad and Tobago issue that they cancel it, so it's something to do with we. They were saying to, oh, you see, Secretary of State Rubero went to Guyana to talk to Guyana, and you see how we get? We's a laughing stock. We had to go to Jamaica to talk to him. And you know what? But all he went to Guyana, he hit them at 35% tariff. You know how much we get? 10%. So this was by Reuters News. Chevron's Venezuelan oil cargo stalled at sea after export cancellation, says sources, and this was April 11th. So it says here, PDVSA cancels set sales authorization for Chevron chartered vessels. Chevron awaits custom paperwork for cargoes returned to Venezuela port. 4 other Chevron tankers began to sail away after permits suspended. Chevron Venezuelan operations face uncertainty amidst U.S. sanctions. So Houston, April the 11th, Reuters. At least 2 vessels carrying Venezuelan crude chartered by Chevron are now stalled in Venezuelan waters due to state oil company PDVSA canceling the export authorizations after the U.S. imposed secondary tariff on the OPEC member buyers. 3 sources with knowledge of the matter said on Friday. The U.S. oil producer awaits custom paperwork to return the cargoes to port after PDVSA on Thursday canceled set sail authorization of 2 of the Chevron chartered vessels that had finished loading. The Venezuelan company also suspended loading permits to 4 other Chevron tankers, which began to sail away on Friday, according to the sources and LSEG shipping data. Under an individual license to operate in the U.S. sanctioned Venezuela, Chevron was authorized by the U.S. Treasury Department, the same department that gave us our OFAC license, in March to help ship Venezuelan crude cargo to the United States until late May before suspending operation and exports. But PDVSA orders might cut the deadline short. As of Friday, the Chevron chartered vessel Dubai Attraction and Carina Voyager remain loaded in Venezuelan's water, waiting for paperwork for the cargo's return, according to sources and shipping data. The cargoes have been declared as exports to Venezuelan Customs Authority, so Chevron must now obtain authorization for their return. PDVSA is requesting the cargoes be returned in coming days at ports including Amwa, the source said. So I would leave it there just to show this only with the cancellation of the OFAC license in only affecting Trinidad and Tobago. The U.S. administration has cancelled all the contracts and all that with Chevron and Venezuela, and they ordered Chevron, which is a U.S. company, to get out of Venezuela. We hear they had loaded up crude oil from Venezuela to take to the U.S., them stuck in Venezuelan water now because Venezuela wanted them to bring back the crude, and they had to get authorization and all that. So this is not a jokey thing, and this is not time to have an inexperienced leader inside. This is not time to have a failed leader leading Trinidad and Tobago. This is not a time to have a leader who seems to have problems with cognition, remembering, retaining, and making sense. This is not a time for any newbies to come to learn on the job. This is a time for leadership of a country, somebody experienced, who has been there, who has been doing the work, and has a team who has been doing the work. Yeah? This is not a time to change to one set of new people to come in to learn on the job in these times that we have to deal with a president like Donald Trump. So let me continue. So people, you know, we in summer, we in Trinidad, always love to cry down this country. So they saw that President Efran Ali in Guyana would have for the people in Tobago just now would have stated, breaking news, that's how we had it, it was an Ian Allen. Breaking news, the government, that's in Guyana, the government will now pay full exam fees up to 8 CXC subjects to every student in public and private school. And oh my God, some deceitful, ungrateful people in this country. Oh my God, we should do like them. And I'm saying, oh, they're crazy. We have been doing this ever since I went to school in the 80s and I didn't pay for CXC or GC. And that has continued till now. And even when you finish exams and you want to go and do over a subject, whatever, the first time you go and do it over, you don't have to pay. So listen to this guy who would have brought it home first.
How many of you pay to write your CXC? None. To see the CXC examination here in Tobago is free. While in other Caribbean islands, they have to pay to write the CXC exam. Now, this is a post on Ghana with Ian and share. Now, breaking news, the government will now pay the full exam fees for up to 8 CXC subjects for every student in public and private school. They now make this available for persons in Ghana. That's how some trees jump when they come in hot and sweaty, boy. What the government does really do for you, boy? Did you pay to write CXC, man? Excellent. If only the political leaders in Trinidad can be inspired to do the same or better, it will be really great.
We know that you're an avid gym fanatic.
God, this dunce come up on my phone, boy. I don't know who the dunce is.
Definitely will. I like when you comment. Plenty of real trainees pay for CXC, awesome. But like all it didn't pass. This comment here is from a Jamaican and they really struggle. That's wonderful. The Jamaican government should take a page and start doing that in Jamaica, because every single subject a child doing in Jamaica, they have to pay. Imagine we in Trinidad don't pay to write CXC, and yet still your Trinidadians so long you're like to make everything about politics. These kind of comments are coming with sometimes it's amazing.
Right? And I say it again, everything another. If me and Motley say, oh my God, she should be like us, but they don't study. When me and Motley came into office the first time in Barbados, she went straight to the IMF, and 3,000 public officers were sent home, and she has gone back to the IMF again. They under structural adjustment programs, and we under that to know. But oh my God, no, I love Mia. I'm a girl. But let me be real now. Oh my God, and we wish our prime minister was like that. Really? I read a report and heard a woman was saying they treat them with the elderly, something like how TAP is. They don't have one like how we had TAP. I think TAP has to do with over 60. You register with them, you have a discount card, and you could go to different places to get discount and all that. They don't have that in Barbados, from what the woman was saying. She wasn't mentioning TAP, but I mentioned that. And she was saying that the elderly, the senior citizens in Barbados, because medication is so high and food prices is so high, they have to make a choice sometimes between medication and eating properly. What they do, they eat substandard and to buy the medication. That is happening in Barbados. Yeah? But we get and see that here. But they won't talk about that. Oh, we love me, and why she can't be like, why we prime minister can't be like her and all that. Those are the naysayers and those who don't love country. But you know, I just always ask them, if he is so bad, why Ola doesn't leave? Go Barbados and be with me, huh? Nothing wrong with that. Anything wrong with that? Okay. So let me continue. So, Tobago have its own good bacchanals too. So this is what is happening in Tobago. Since this state come out Farley and them and they talk about, oh, it's AI. I never know AI does stomach, AI does talk, AI could mimic certain tonal variation for people. Some people have a nasal tone, some people have a finey voice, some people have a deep bass voice, some people have a slur, some people have a lisp. All them things. I never know AI could mimic that, right? And, you know, Farley does stammer. Okay. So, I hear stammering. So, this is coming out of Tobago, Papa. Look back and all.
They have been paid for mashing up Tobago and selling out Tobago.
I will never sell out.
Because they themselves don't know better and they're easily compromised.
The TPP is not a member or aligned to any political party in Trinidad at all.
He lied. Oh.
And I am very confident that no one can dispute that which I am saying now. We had no meetings with the UNC. We did not meet up with the UNC anywhere in Tobago. We did not meet up with the UNC anywhere in Trinidad either. We have had 0 meetings in person and we have had 0 meetings via Zoom.
A few moments later.
We did send some resources for you. I hear that you may not have received it for the last election.
As in the KJ?
Yes.
As in the KJ election at this end?
Yes, sir. So I've given some money. I can't remember all the names, but I don't want business. All your party business. I sent some money. I sent some money. No, I wouldn't do that with me. I had sent some money. And then for the general, we sent some money.
Right, so KJ elections, whatever, $100,000 scheme. That came to the party, that came safely, and the party, Children used it appropriately.
Because they have taken our trust, taken our vote, and secretly making compromise.
Well, our collaboration must be on the table, so to speak, for now.
It's betrayal. A lot of that going on. And has gone on.
And I'm not going to support nobody with no alternative lifestyle.
Because you are prostituting Tobago.
The question that we have to ask ourselves is this.
On election day, don't care what they say. Who you voting for?
No matter who they recruit, it is BNM.
Those say nobody didn't tell all in Tobago, we did tell all were juke. Because we from the PSA know juke. Ole did not know juke. Juke was living down here. For 12 years, juke was in the PSA. We know juke since 2009. We tell all you. In 2021, I think it was. Do not mistake the THA for PSA. Do not vote for juke. We tell all you. Fali was right there upon them. Pastor Baines was right there, so we must protect him. This is a man who is on trial before the courts. On 1 count of rape and 4 counts of sexual assault. Only don't forget them thing. But Tobago said, we are we boy, but you know, only 3 Dr. Rowley with scan courtesy and all kind of discuss and thing, and he's are we boy. Only went and vote for them 14-1 p.m. get a good quotas. And now, what happening? No development, nothing, only the promise the young people, lie. Here the young fella say, lie, and more lie. Nothing happening in Tobago. Here Tobago stagnated. But Tobago don't get on like we in Trinidad. So we ain't hearing nothing. Now here's when it's time to vote. That how it does know their feelings. I hope April the 28th or the return, Mr. Shamfa Kojo Lois and Mr. Anna Webster Roy to let them know what time it is. So let TPP know from now, after April the 20th, that the days are numbered politically. In the absence of that, I'll feel sorry for how Tobago will come. So, let me continue. So, IDA, which is a political party in Tobago, headed by, I think, is Ms. Soyafat. I think that is her name. You all will forgive me for all the intrusion with these little videos and things, right? Everything that's run into one. And so this was, hi Helen, hi Joyce. This was IDA urged Tobagonians not to ignore second audio leak. And this was the 10th of April 2025. It was CNC3. Innovative Democratic Alliance political leader Denise Soyafat Angus has called on Tobagonians not to let the alleged second audio gate involving Chief Secretary Fali Augustine and opposition leader Kamla Persad-Bissessar fade away and die a natural death, especially since Augustine has not clearly denied that the meeting and conversation ever took place. Soyafat Angus, commenting on the matter, told Guardian Media that controversies of leaked recordings now seems to define the Fali-led TPP administration, pointing out that the first audio leak still remains unresolved and now a second recording has surfaced. I want to remind Tobago, when that first audio came out, one of the James brother sounded like a blasted lunatic. In my opinion, talking about, yes, the PNM has a propaganda machine. I've seen it. They deny it to be real. And then after they had a meeting in a funeral home, in my opinion, because I thought it was a funeral. When I log in, I thought they was going to say somebody from the PDP or something, or someone in the family tragically had died, unfortunately. I thought it was a funeral thing, it was. And I thought like it looked like a parlor, funeral parlor. And they come to tell me, it's them in the video and in the voice note and thing and thing and thing. And then they started, some fella, some with quote unquote whistleblower come and say he meet with Dr. Rowley and whatever, and the boy come back and say that it's not true. They rough him up and they ting him up and they bully him up and all kind of thing for him to say so. It was a whole solid affair that is a stain on file. You know, we come and bounce up with this one. Okay. She said if this last recording has been verified by experts as authentic and not AI generated, then the idea has serious concerns about the shameful approach to governance. One that appears to fool the public into giving their votes only for those votes to be treated in secret deals behind closed doors. She said if this latest recording is confirmed, Tobago has every right to be deeply concerned. Never continues. So I see that up at Piaco had a fire. Hi Daniel, hi Zion, hi Hadara. I saw Mr. Coker there, hi Mr. Coker. I saw there was a fire up at Piaco. And they said Piaco is open after, but it's not like the airport. It seemed to be some just now. Let me see what this is. Papa Labs. So flight operations at Piaco International Airport resumes. This is April the 11th against CNC3. Flight operations at Piaco International Airport resumed on Friday after an early morning fire at the Amerijet warehouse facility at the South Terminal forced the temporary shutdown, according to the Airports Authority of Trinidad and Tobago. The authority said it received clearance to restart operations from the Trinidad and Tobago Fire Service and the Trinidad and Tobago Civil Aviation Authority. During the suspension, international flights were temporarily diverted to the A&R Robinson International Airport in Tobago. The fire triggered an immediate emergency response by the Piaco Fire Station, with support from the Arima Fire Station. The fire is now under control, the authority said. Although flights have been resumed, passengers may still experience delays. Passengers are encouraged to liaise with their respective airlines for the latest flight information, said the authority. Or the authority said. The authority thanked the traveling public and stakeholders for their patience and cooperation and said it remains committed to ensuring the safety, security, and efficiency of operation at Piaco International Airport. So, thank God everything is okay. So that is some good news. Let me continue. You remember, just recently, about a day or 2 days ago, David Lee come out and start to talk because his case get dismissed. No, people dismissed does not mean you're not guilty. Or it does not mean that you're not innocent. Dismiss leaves it in abeyance. So his case was dismissed and he come out talking about he going after Lala. And who Lala? That will be Larry Lala SC, who has severed his ties with the UNC and has now become a part of the PNM. So I don't know if it's because of that, but he said going after Lala because Lala SC did mention him at a meeting up at Exeter Spaniard. But while Senior Counsel Lala was speaking, the matter wasn't dismissed yet, so I don't see nothing wrong when he mentioned it. So my boy jump out. He go there, you coming after Lala, wherever. Papa, must he got her next? You know, the few minutes later, this is a really few minutes later. Let me tell you the background. Few minutes later, hi Tess, hi Natalie. This was April the 9th. So it would have been about the 8th or 7th, any wrong, there was a meeting up at Exodus. And then the next day or something, so Lee case get dismissed. DPP seeks High Court review of David Lee's criminal charges. This is not a civil suit. This is criminal. Okay. The Office of the Director of Public Prosecution, DPP, will seek the intervention of the High Court to determine if there is sufficient evidence against United National Congress UNC Deputy Political Leader David Lee and firearms dealer Hugh Leong Pio, or Pio Pio, wasn't the grandfather, godmother, nothing, my apologies, to have them face trial on criminal charges. On Monday, both men were freed by Acting Chief Magistrate Christine Charles on allegations of attempting to defraud the state of $1.4 million in motor vehicle taxes. The magistrate did so as she upheld no case submission by attorneys representing both men, finding there was insufficient evidence to have them committed to stand trial. However, DPP Roger Gaspard said yesterday his office has begun the process to have a High Court judge review the evidence in the case and decide whether Magistrate Charles got it wrong. In a WhatsApp exchange with the Express, Gaspard said the process does not involve charges being relayed. This application will require a judge to review the magistrate decision and to issue a warrant if the judge disagrees with that decision. The process is commenced by my office. The process was commenced by my office on Monday. The issue of the relaying of charges does not therefore arise, stated the DPP. Should the judge find that there is sufficient evidence against the two and the warrant issues, it could see both men being rearrested and brought directly before the High Court to face trial. Lee and Leong POI were jointly charged in September 2022 with conspiring to deprive the state of tax revenue related to the importation of a Mercedes-Benz G63 AMG by Lee, valued at more than $2 million. Lee faced additional charges of misbehavior in public office and falsely claiming the vehicle was his in order to claim tax exemption entitled to him as a member of parliament. The offences were alleged to have occurred between March 24th and June 20th, 2019. It was alleged that Lee used his parliamentary position to import the vehicle on behalf of Leong Poi. The taxes in the case included $2,093,094.02 in the value-added tax, $294,650 in motor vehicle tax, and $824. Just now, let me read over that, Papa. The taxes in the case include $294,094.02 in value-added tax and $298,650 in motor vehicle tax and $824,548.62 in custom duties. Under the terms and conditions of the employment, MPs are allowed periodic tax exemption of motor vehicles, but are required to pay the taxes if they wish to sell the vehicle within 2 years of claiming the exemption. Lee was represented at the magistrate's court by attorneys. Lee was represented at the magistrate court by attorneys Wayne Surge, Mario Merritt, Alexia Romero, and Randall Raphael, while Lee Pion or Lee Poi was represented by Pamela Elder SC and Russell Warner. Government had nothing to do with charges being laid. Attorney General Camille Robinson-Regis said the government had nothing to do with the charges that were laid on former MP Lee. The political directorate can't lay charges. It isn't the police, she told the Express yesterday, and that matter went to court and the magistrate adjudicated based on what was presented to her. Told that the PNM had commented on this matter time and time again on the political platform and in other public fora, Robinson-Regis said yes, it would come up on platform because he was charged. In the same way that opposition leader Kamala Pasabi-Sessa is saying that I am still being investigated, excuse me, he was actually charged, and that was public information, so we are allowed to speak about it. But we have nothing to do with the charges being laid. But the reality is he was charged, so we will talk about it. We can't adjudicate as to guilt or innocence, but we could talk about it because it is public knowledge. Thank you, Madam Camille Robinson-Regis. Them just want to talk about you right through with your own money, where you take out your own bank to do your own business, and you wasn't charged. Let me drink some water. Let me continue. All I remember, I just bringing back this story because it's good to remember. We're going into election April the 28th. We're looking at leadership. We're looking at who could carry this country forward from what is happening, especially in the world now with President Trump as the president of America. All I remember, a woman called Nan Ramgoolam. Well, I was reading something here from somebody called Eric Estradell, and it was reposted, so I'm going to read it. Fired New York consulate workers have slave names. April 10, 2025. If you are an employee of the public service and you carry a slave name, you are looked upon as having gotten your job because you have a PNM party card and you are just another lazy PNM public servant. This is this person's opinion. In the year 2012, no, this is factual. In the year 2012, KPB appointed Nan Ramgoolam to head the New York consulate. Ms. Ramgoolam then seeked out all the employees that looked like me and she gave them a special test. Then she told them that they had failed that test and they were fired. The PNM public servants who had been working at the consulate, I think he was being a critic by saying, it's not a critic I want to use it, but these PNM public servants who had been working at the consulate carried out their tongue-in-cheek, had carried out their responsibilities of office for which there were no complaints, but suddenly they became dispensable. It was a most nasty, wicked, dangerous, and despicable act perpetrated by someone appointed by KPB. The dismissed workers were Susan Butcher David, 12 years service, Angelina Ramlal, 7 years, Judy Graves, 5 years, Michael Brathwaite, 23 years, Ashford, not years as in service, Ashton Harford, 18 years of service, Sherlan Etienne, 3 years of service, April Sergion, 9 months, Charmaine Anderson Smith, 7 months of service. These public servants had to find their own way back. Suddenly they were out of a job and out of pocket. As the nasty scandal unfolded, the Attorney General Office issued 2 legal advice which said that Ms. Ramgoolam was right. Not unexpected. After all, these were lazy PNM public servants. This matter could have ended 24 hours after it started by KPB. Just picking up the phone and saying to Nan Ramgoolam, stop this blasted nonsense now. But the cabinet led by KPB sought to justify it with illegal advice. I want all these lazy PNM public servants who are being urged by green-shirted Felicia to put, so this person is writing this and in speaking also about Felicia Thomas of the PSA. This is this person's opinion that I'm reading, right? So he spoke about Nan Ramgoolam would have fired workers in the consulate with all those years service who, they like to say slave master names, and who they will also say, because they have slave master names, they are PNM. So that's what he's saying could have led to it, but all those persons were actually sent home. And he was saying Kamla Prasad Bisesa could have ended, well, KPB, I think that's the initial for Kamla Prasad Bisesa. He said she could have ended that whole ordeal by just picking up the phone and calling Nan Ramgoolam and saying, well, stop this now, right? So he's talking now to public officers in real time and telling them, I want all these lazy PNM public servants, again he's using this tongue-in-cheek, who are being urged by green-shirted Felicia to put your vote by the rising sun, to think carefully, since in doing so, you may be committing employment suicide. It is clear that KPB, as Prime Minister then, showed no maternal care for the fired employees at the Miami consulate, since 7 or 8 were mothers. And just like how a few days ago she bragged and boasted how she wiped out her party, the UNC of the undesirables, so too public servants should be aware. Yesterday was Panday, tomorrow will be you. She would wipe the country the same way she wiped a party of those undesirables, just like the employees at New York Consulate. Before KPB goes to the nation again and professes how much she loves this country, she must apologize for what was done to those workers at the New York Consulate. In the 10 years that Dr. Keith Christopher Rowley, had led in office, he made sure not one public servant lost their job, and he made sure every month everyone was paid your salary. There's an old African saying that when someone shows you who they are, the first time believe them. The New York Consulate firing showed us who KPB is. But KPB can prove me wrong by apologizing to those workers and their families of what took place in 2012 under her watch, right? So again, this is something written by somebody by the name of Eric Esdell, who is warning people of who KPB really is. Don't forget that. Kevin Ramnarayan, as I says, he won the always high, tell Veronica even already. Hi Malcolm, hi Robert. Always they call in to get his view on the oil sector and the gas sector. And I want people to know who Kevin Ramnarayan really is, not me saying. As I told you, in Guyana, he did some work for them. They paid him, it is alleged, 20,000 US, and they criticized the work he did. Basically, to me, like they're saying, it was useless. They couldn't use it for what they paid him to do that, whether it's a report or whatever for. It was a waste of time. So this was in Trinidad Express a while ago. And it says here, it seems astonishing that the unique showcase estate at Point Lisa should be feeling pain caused by irregularities or insufficiency in the supply of natural gas. What forces, what circumstances could so conspire to the end of shooting in TNT's economy in the foot? This is a question posed by last week's Business Express report that a gas production problem is continuing to hurt foreign exchange earnings companies at Point Lisa. While the source of the problem is yet to be isolated, its effect is felt in the disruption suffered by industry for which natural gas is indispensable feedstock. In mid-2011, developments have combined to deny basic raw material where and when it is critically required. According to some explanation, the companies producing upstream in the gas fields are somehow doing maintenance work on their rigs, with the result that less gas is being pumped ashore. More ominously, speculation hinged on the effect of protracted negotiations among the government, the supplier, the buyer, and the natural gas company in its midstream role linking producers and users of natural gas. That's in 2011. We don't produce gas. Gas is produced by the upstream suppliers like British Gas, TNT, and BP TNT. We then purchase the gas from them and sell it to downstream producers using take or pay contract, said NGC Chairman Larry Hawaii. NGC, he made clear, cannot pipe gas it does not receive. Any shortfall must then be accountable to whatever is going on between the upstream companies doing deals with the government. The Ministry of Energy added was treating the gas situation as a matter of urgency, wrestling for a mutually acceptable arrangement with the multinational producing gas in Trinidad waters. A measure of the urgency is reflected in the report that Methanex, the Canadian-owned producer of methanol at Point Lisa, is unhappily coping with supply cutbacks. Methanex, operating out of TNT, happens to be a world-leading supplier of methanol. Its difficulties are of obviously high national concern. That is under Kamla Prasad's predecessor, Kevin Ramnarayan, as Minister of Energy. Energy Minister Kevin Ramnarayan had publicly recognized the gas shortage. Last November, he blamed poor coordination, assuring that official appreciation of the problem marked the first step towards a solution. The solution remained elusive. Mr. Ramnarayan said his ministry would lead a planning and co-coordinating process to ensure against future gas shortages. He also referred to the prospect of increased supply from a new gas platform, which should have materialized by now. None of this has yet come to pass. The Minister of Energy should urgently clarify just what he is doing to secure the vital national interest threatened by continuing gas shortages at Point Lisas. All you hear that? 2011, they were having gas shortages. They asked Kevin Ramnarine, the Minister of Energy, to intercede. He gave a whole long talk. Just, in my opinion, like how we do the work for Guyana and they can't use what he do. So like he does just proud theory but nothing practical to hinge it to, that is hinge it on to, that's my opinion. And he has done nothing, they said, to help with the shortages of gas. That is back in his tenure. So what he could be coming to tell people now? When under it had gas shortages and he did nothing. He went and get no new contracts. He went and do nothing to develop. The only contract he went and get, it was costing this country $900 million with a Japanese firm, Mitsubishi and them. And this government, by Minister Seo-Jung, who is now Prime Minister, had to go up to Japan on the instruction of Dr. K. Christopher Rowley, who was Prime Minister at the time, to renegotiate those contracts, otherwise we would have been from the IMF. But every Monday morning is them who, he who, radio station calling. Let me read this next one. Or the feel it's joke. And tell me, if them is the people only want back in office again, especially in these times. 2011, Energy Minister to intervene in Point Lisa's natural gas shortage. A crisis appears to be developing at the Point Lisas industrial estate with a continued shortage of natural gas to the estate because of a shortage of domestic gas production. The Business Guardian has been told that the shortfall is between 100 and 200 million cubic feet of natural gas per day, and with a huge budget deficit, the government stands to lose tens of millions of dollars of additional revenue because of the shortage of the gas. The situation has become so bad that the Minister of Energy and Energy Affairs, Kevin Ramnarine, confirmed he will be intervening to find a solution to the problem and will be calling on the producers led by BPTT, BGTT, EOG, and BPH Billiton. You see where the foreign exchange bacchanal start? Or let's see where it starts. UNC can't extricate themselves from this, you know. An interview on Monday, Ramnarine told BG, that is Business Guardian, I guess, it is costing the downstream producers millions. It is hurting the National Gas Company, NGC. It is significantly impacting the revenues of the country, which does not please the Minister of Finance. I am going to call on the producers to help find a solution to the problem. It's been going on for too long and we have to solve the problem. I'm just waiting for the Permanent Secretary to return from Ghana before I hold the meeting of production before I hold the meeting next week. At the heart of the problem is a shortfall of production by operators. The Business Guardian understands that while NGC has contracted gas from several producers, the gas producers rarely meet their obligations to the domestic market, with the exception of BPTT, which for years has acted as the swing producer. Sources say that BPTT has recent email response to whether the company was fulfilled. So people, you know what the thing does go, let's stay with me. So let me continue what I was reading because these things are important. Thank you, Carol, Anne-Marie, Trevor, Donna, Diane. You all are my faithful. Roxanne, I'm sure Roxanne will get back on just now. And all the others, Melka, everybody. So let me continue where I was reading because these things are important and don't study them. They can't take the truth as they start to read the truth. As they start to talk and read the truth, it does interfere with your life. In a recent email response to whether the company was fulfilling natural gas requirement to the domestic market, BPTT said for the first 6 months, BPTT has maintained average production within our expectation of the market. The statement added, in the first half of 2011, BPTT invested in safety and operational risk and activities. These included scheduled maintenance and work on plant integrity. And it goes on to talk about all the challenges they have, right? And this is what recently Charles Percy, Managing Director and Chief Executive Officer of Methanex Trinidad Limited, said his company has been negatively impacted, as have other plants on the estate. Percy said, I cannot make a product if I do not have gas to make it, and this has been happening now for close to 6 months. He estimated that the reduction in production is between 5% and 10% due to gas shortage. Figures show that for the first 6 months of the fiscal year, government shortfall in revenue from natural gas was close to $500 million. And that will be US dollars. The government forecast for revenue for the first half of the year was $3,900,000,000. Listen, let me read all the figures there. 3,963,860,77.08. It actually received revenues of 3,498 instead of 963 and 441, instead of 860, 678 dot instead of 77.04. So under Kevin Ramnarine, he did nothing to secure no gas contracts, nothing to help with the shortfall of gas that they've been having since the PP government was in office, when all them gas company was losing money because they wasn't getting gas. He did nothing. So why don't they be calling me every time to ask you a question? This government, Minister Siojong as Minister Energy, would have gone and closed off a contract that for years everybody talking about. And other contracts have been closed off and gas has been pumped and gas has been searched for and looked for and all that. But he ain't getting no credit. Every minute they're calling this inept. Inexperience. So I have to ask again because we see it happening. I ain't say it's true. We see it happening. Did Kevin Ramnarine, or is Kevin Ramnarine a part of the false paper crew? I'm asking a question because we see it happen. We have Rishni Ramnarine, so they can't say I'm trying to be nothing. I asking a question. Let me continue. But you know what? You know he did congratulate this government. You know he congratulated this government in, hi Rosemary, in 2023. Let me find it. Let me find it. Let me find it. Former Energy Minister Kevin Ramnarine also congratulates Rowley, Dr. Rowley, on the situation. I think it is good news and congratulations to the Prime Minister for his diplomatic persistence. From my experience, these are very complex issues. I expect, however, that the journey to first gas has now started and a lot of work lays ahead for NGC and the government, Ramnarine said. Right? He congratulated them. He said, expect that if all goes well to plan, we shall see first gas in 3 or 4 years. This would also mark a new phase in our energy sector where we move to import natural gas. This has to be thought through carefully from a commercial and fiscal point of view, but overall, the news will be welcome for the plants at Point Lisas and the LNG business in Point Fortin. But when you was there, you did nothing. Kamala Pasabi Sachanchi government did nothing to look for new gas. Them is the cause of the foreign exchange problem in this country, my opinion. And when you think about it in context, because them know you had was to close the refinery Petrotrin, they do know that. But all of them are afraid to take that position because they're political one and they're afraid that people won't vote for them. So they never take it. But Dr. Rowley had the balls, he had the kahunas. And he said this had to be done, and it was done. Even Professor Hossain, the economist, he agreed with the decision was to close the refinery, because it was losing millions and millions of dollars. Let me continue. So everybody start with the promises. So Michaela Pandey, I guess she don't want to be left out. So she had to make a promise too. A promise is a comfort or a fool, so you don't make promise. If you're not coming in first time, whatever, you have to make a promise because you ain't have no track record. So you have to say what you could get them. And I don't know if people how this is going to happen. So CNC True News again, I got it from 11 hours ago to say it was the Guardian. It's not 11 now. It's longer than Michaela promises minimum wage increase. Patriotic Front leader Michaela Pandey is promising to raise the minimum wage if elected to lead the country. It is one of the several initiatives she promises to lower the cost of living in this country. And you see, from the time they start that, there's a pack of old talk. Oh God, Michaela, don't do that now. Don't do that, but you could stop the cost, drop the cost of living. Don't do that now. Don't do that now. You can't tell no supermarket owner how to sell the thing. Guys, open market thing. Don't do that now. And then with this condition that we're in with this tariff and all the country all over the world, all that, you can't get that kind of guarantees. From the time you start that, I know you're on BS. Don't do it. Young people say they want you to talk the truth, tell the truth. Don't start off lying to these people now. Don't do it now. Speaking at Makalele Community Center last evening, Pandey said the pay rise will not come with an increase to the cost of living, which offsets such a move. We will raise the minimum wage and not raise everything else at the same time. So it is ineffective and introduce what we call automatic cost of living adjustment for public sector workers, she declared. Pandey said they will also use profits from the energy sector to keep fuel prices stable. Oh God, oh God, oh God. In this volatile world right now we're in, with Trump and them stopping people contract for gas and all that, Michaela, oh God, don't do that now. Don't do that now. Don't fool people now. What profits are you going to take to put in the energy sector to stop fuel prices and keep it stable, Miss Lady? Oh God, no. Patriotic Front leader also promised to remove value-added tax from essential food items and crack down on price gouging. But value-added tax already removed from food prices. And Canada them say they remove it from 7,000. I know what I'm saying. You could. It's about protecting families, workers, and rebuilding the middle class, she explained. I think she's stuck in a time zone with her dad, you know, God rest his soul, to be talking this. This is not modern talk she talking here. This is not talk that include the scenarios that going on around we all over the world, with Canada in a trade war with Ting, China in a trade war with America, like they want to war everybody in trade and all that. You promising? Look, let me see. I don't read it. She turned me off. She turned me off. I had some hope, so she turned me off. I ain't able. When I start them foolishness, me able. Me ain't no big economist and thing, but I know them thing when you're talking, it ain't making sense to me. And I know probably feel you have to say something, but if you have to say them kind of out of time and thing, in my opinion, to get people to vote, I'm not able with that. Talk to the people who must don't read nothing. Me ain't taking that trippiness. I ain't taking that. That is my talk. Nope. So I'm seeing Gary Griffith is saying that they're paying people. So this was 20 hours ago in the Guardian. Again, it's not 20 hours now, it's more than that. Bribery for votes in Sando West, claims Griffith. National Transformation Alliance NTA leader Gary Griffith says he has proved that voters in the marginal San Fernando West are being bribed with cash and appliances as his political opponents attempt to sway votes ahead of April 20th general election. Speaking at NTA meeting on Lord Street, San Fernando on Wednesday night, Griffith said a certain political party had been bribing constituents to stop them from casting their ballots. This election is getting very interesting. In the same San Fernando West, a certain political party is paying 350 to hundreds of persons in HDC to appeal to them not to come and vote. You are bribing persons not to vote, and yet you feel you have the right of ethics to be in government, he said. Well, in my opinion, I given the only party you can be talking about doing that is UNC. PNM have no history of doing them thing. He added the same political party is giving away stove and fridge in the hope that they can bribe people to vote for you. In Talpara in 2015 election, they gave away 600 refrigerators and still lost by 2,000 votes. He also accused United National Congress leader Kamala Persad-Bissessar of stealing his ideas to include in her manifesto. For the first time, Griffith read from emails between himself and Persad-Bissessar in which he spoke about the creation of the Ministry of Defense and the Ministry of Home Affairs. He identified 1 million compensation for families of fallen officers in the creation of the Ministry of Defense and Ministry of Home Affairs as his idea. Wait. And fallen officers in the line of duty does already, their families already get $1 million. Oh, Jesus, on a table. Mr. Griffith, that is not a new idea, darling. You may have missed it. They're already getting $1 million. As far as I can remember, sir, under People's National Movement government. Griffith accuses opponents of being unethical in their campaigning, saying 2 of his candidates had dropped out of the electoral race of fear. We lost 2 candidates, 2 persons who were threatened with their jobs. They were told by family members and employers that they cannot go up now and show affiliation to us because of victimization from certain political parties, Griffith claimed. He also questioned whether Persad-Bissessar would get the funds to execute her policies, as he condemned the People's National Movement for burdening the population with taxes. And there again, Mr. Griffith, all let us have me for 1 second, and then we'll start all the foolishness. All countries in the world are taxed. If the gas down, we're looking for new fields. We have to get other areas of bringing money into this country. We're looking to diversify. Taxes is also a way of life because plenty are all in this country. Have properties in America and Miami and all over the damn place. And all us pay all the property tax. What is the problem with taxes? You want to live here free? What we must ensure that the taxes collected are used for the people, the most vulnerable, to do the things that are needed to be done. But don't tell me no stupidness about this government want to overburden the population with taxes. Really? You were part of a government that was reintroducing property tax. I'll see if I have it there and play it for all years. So what foolish, look now. When people speak about loyalty and patriotism, I have done it. I know what it is to serve my country. As commissioner, I had 43. Look, Gary, have a blessed day, darling. I just wanted to read where you say the bribing people. Let me move on. Kamala Persad-Bissessar has said she's promising she's going to pay ex-crime workers. And I want to ask a question. I don't mean to be disrespectful. I really don't. I don't mean to be disrespectful. When Lyle and Tate, the colonials, and they left Trinidad because they were running that plantation, that sugarcane plantation, and they left. Right? Leaving the citizens of this country, mainly of East Indian descent, it would have left them without jobs. The government of the day under Dr. Eric Eustace Williams, they bought Carney. I think it's 1974 or something, so it was called a 5 or whatever. And Carney wasn't making money. When Dr. Rowley was Minister of Agriculture, he would have written off billions of dollars of Caroni debt to save the 5,000 plus workers in Caroni. Caroni was not making money. We heard about Ting selling 3 and 4 times and Bolt and this. How can we heard about it? Corruption. They wasn't making money. And the PNM made a decision to close down Caroni because of mismanagement, because they had a board managing Caroni. And the workers of Caroni got the highest retrenchment payout in the history of Trinidad and Tobago up to now and in the Caribbean. The highest retrenchment package ever. They were promised land and whatever, who will get. When Dr. Eric Williams, with the brilliant mind of, where's that man named, oh gosh, I can't remember if it's something Julian or one of them, who would have come up with the concept of Point Lisas. He made them across the Caroni Bridge instant millionaires because the property value went up, business sprang up because they have people working in the oil, that sector there, they're buying food, business. So it became a hub of activity and wealth. And then recently the EU, something that has some money and put some money, and here it wasn't for the workers, it was for programs and whatever, and here they get money from that too. And some get land and whatever. I am hearing now, under the PP government, they was to give them XYZ. They come back with this talk again. What again? Somebody explain to me exactly what again the I want to understand it. I really want to. What again the ex-Caroni workers want that they didn't get? I want to know, because I want to say this here. People ain't gonna like what I'm going to say here, you know. You see, my ancestors, my enslaved African ancestors, they walked the Caroni. It wasn't Caroni plain. All them places with sugar cane and all them things was forests. And when they bring my ancestors here, who didn't want to be here, and they brutalize them, they beat them, they rape them, they torture them, and they work for free to cut down when the Sedela population was put out by the Spanish to develop Trinidad because they wanted to get in the sugarcane business. And the French and all of them bring the domesticated, enslaved Africans to Trinidad. It's them. It's not the French cut down nothing. It's my enslaved ancestors cut down all the forests, plenty of them dead from snake bite, scorpion sting, tree must fall, and all kind of thing happen. And they walk them land for free. And England was carting away the money from the sugar and went up there to sell and make money. We get nothing. Our indentured brothers and sisters came here because of the unfortunate system of the caste system in India. They came as indentured Indian laborers. They alone were not the only indentured laborers came. The Chinese came, the Syrian Lebanese community came also. But the East Indian community came, and they came on contracts. They didn't come here as slaves. The treatment may not have been 100%, but it was 100% better than my enslaved African ancestors. They came on contracts 3 or 5 years. They could have leave, and the patriot was paid to go back to India. They stayed, you work, you get paid, and you could buy a piece of land. They even created a law where you feed them properly for a year because they came here. A lot of them malnutrition, a lot of them couldn't do the work that we were doing. We didn't get no special menu. Whatever scrap massa throw there, we take the hoof and the tail and the this and we salt it to have it preserved to cook with thing. Them come, them get special diet to feed them, to bring them up. They held up to work in the Caroni plantation. I'm asking again, we get nothing. Why it is all they want more? I don't know what more they want. Just answer me that question. Right? No disrespect. No disrespect meant. None. So this is what Kamala said she's going to pay the Caroni workers what is due to them or whatever. And I want to ask Kamla Persad-Bissessar this. This was in 2014 in the Trinidad Express. Workers left jobless at the 2003 closure of Caroni 1975 Limited have become more hopeless as the present People's Partnership Administration succeeded that of the People's National Movement, which had dropped the axe on the sugar industry. The rightful expectation of the former Caroni workers, judicially affirmed in 2007, have remained in frustration, leading now to threats of withdrawal electoral support from the Kamla Persad-Bissessar coalition. The government two-part response appears to be that work is proceeding, however slowly, to deliver the residential and agricultural land promised under the separation settlement, and that farm production has been growing along with consumption of locally grown food. Impressively expanded crops of cabbage, dasheen, pumpkin, tomatoes, cassava, and sweet potatoes have been utilized in the school nutrition program. And that didn't just happen under Kamla Persad-Bissessar. That was happening under Dr. Eric Eustace-Williams. I told you that Mrs. Marilyn Gordon was one of the youngest politicians at the time in his cabinet. She was tasked with dealing with those issues. So they had the kitchen cabinet. They would go and meet with the women and the villages, the communities and all that coming out of those things. They introduced the school feeding program. It used to be, I think, 3 days a week, and they had dietitian on board, and they used the local vegetables grown by our Indian brothers and sisters as part of the menu. So this is nothing under Kamla Persad-Bissessar. At least it is the claim of Food Production Minister Devon Maraj, who also boasts about displacement of imports. 1, 2, 3. Such outcomes, however, impress neither the Caroni ex-employees awaiting their land nor the people represented by Trinidad Unified Farmers Association. The partnership, as it faces multiple and increasingly severe re-election challenges, cannot afford to feel comfortable about any assurances of support from the South and Central voting blocs on which it has traditionally counted. Indeed, the closure of Caroni Limited was most likely determined primarily by political consideration rather than financial factors. Really? 1, 2, 3, 4. The entity that has been a multi-million-dollar drain on national coffers for decades before Basil Pandey became Prime Minister in 1772, electoral outcome in 1995. As the longtime leader and virtual guru of the sugar workers, Mr. Pandey was best placed to oversee the necessary closure and restructuring of Caroni Limited, but he failed to take any action during his tenure. This no doubt was because proper policy would have been politically problematic for Mr. Pandey, who would have been seen as betraying his loyal followers. Now UNC leader Persad-Bissessar has made her own assessment. The new militancy expressed on behalf of ex-Caroni workers, now about 5,000 strong, should not lightly be discounted. The People's Partnership Administration, identified with promises of improved handling of the cause of former Caroni workers, had better hasten to close the decade-old file to the satisfaction of the people left for far too long in the uncaring reign. This was 2014. Kamla and them promised the ex-Caroni workers to get them A, B, C, D, F, G. This is 2025. Kamla come back with that same talk again. That's why I tell all you, Kamla Persad-Bissessar don't have a creative bone in she body. Her conversation is nothing new. Same old rhetoric. 2014, you promised the ex-Caroni workers you will get them this, get them that, game that. You ain't get them it. Mr. Pandey ain't get them it. You come back now in 2025 to tell them the same thing again? Look now. All here. So Dave Tanku is saying that the UNC is not devaluing the dollar. I can't understand the lies and the misinformation that has come from the UNC and the supporters. I can't understand it at all. Right? This was 20 hours ago in the Guardian, not 20 hours now, right? Tanko again says UNC will not devalue the TNT dollar. We don't trust Ole Boy. United National Congress Vice-President candidate Dave Tanko has again promised there will be no devaluation under a UNC government and that the party has a plan for Cedros Laruga area which would tap into opportunities in nearby Guyana and Suriname. Isn't it ironic, the two countries they call it? Speaking at Wednesday UNC meeting in Point Fortin, he said the outgoing Prime Minister said UNC is going to devalue the currency, TT currency, 15 to $1 US. Do we hear that lie? That is lie. I'm not reading no more. I'm not reading no more. I'm not reading no more because I want to play this for you. I'm not reading no more. And while I'm on that, before I play it for you to see who does lie. Who is the liar? You remember Jolene John going up and say, Jambol, Stuart say saltfish go up. Like he don't know saltfish thing, like he getting saltfish free all the time. I'm playing that to show you who does lie. Wait. So here I pack a BS again. Jolene John say, put them back in office. And 500 houses will be given out, will be built out. Just now, let me see exactly how she put it. Let me see exactly what she said. Because me want to lie on nobody, Papa. This in the Guardian. UNC. Young out of touch with Trinidad and Tobago housing woes. John pledged to deliver 500 units per week. I ain't reading no more. I'm not reading no more. Where they going to get money to build 500 houses or units a week? Where they get the units from? Where they get the money from? Huh? Look. Oh, they have a choice April the 28th, you know. So let me show you how Tanko and them does lie. And Jolene John and them does lie. Let me show you how. Let me show you how. Let me show you how. Listen to this.
Listen very carefully to the leader of the opposition words in Parliament as she tells you, the population, what her plan is, and it is to devalue, to depreciate, and to destroy our dollar. Please show.
Commit to the following to help protect our external position.
Listen.
Work with the central bank to ensure a competitive exchange rate. The Minister of Finance will work with Central Bank to make sure that our exchange rate is competitive, eliminating the current dirty managed float and allowing market forces to operate within a crawling band.
Stop. You heard Kamala Prasad Bissessa say they're going to eliminate it and float the dollar without fear of contradiction and tell the population of Trinidad and Tobago that the UNC's bag of poison that they're promising people and trying to fool people with is going to lead us straight to the IMF. And you heard their leader in a document that they have still up as their plan that they're going to devalue the dollar. So I sat with the economists and I said, what is it going to devalue to? How can they afford this that they're promising? I stand here today and warn Trinidad and Tobago that if the UNC gets into power on April 20th, 2025, no matter what they say, they're going to devalue our dollars 15 to 1. 15 to 1. And let me tell you what 15 to 1 means, because that is the UNC's plan. Right now, flour costs right now $18.49. When they devalue it 15 to 1, it is going to cost $40.85. So from $18 to $40 for flour. Rice, 2 kilograms of rice costing $29 now. When they devalue to 15 to 1, it is going to cost you $64. That is what the UNC is really going to do to you. Curry powder, right now curry powder 85 grams is $12. That is going to increase to $26.50. Everything is going to cost twice as much. Sardines cost us now $13.95. When the UNC devalues our dollar and gets rid of the dirty managed float, as she calls it, sardines will go up from $13.95 to $30.82. What you all going to tell Kamala? What are you all going to tell the UNC? Because they're sending us straight to 15 to 1 devaluation. Onion, a pound of onion costs us now $5.95. When the UNC devalues our dollar to 15 to 1, it is going to cost $13. So I am putting Trinidad and Tobago on notice tonight. Our flour, our rice, our potatoes, everything that is imported, is going to more than double in price. And that is the UNC's plan, as you heard said right here, and as is in their document. And add to that the IMF coming in, slashing subsidies, attacking our workers. So you listen to them. You take their basket, take God out of your thoughts with all that they tell you. And what you have to do, Trinidad and Tobago, is who has told the truth, who has always come to the population and told you what the truth is, no matter how hard it is. It is this PNM government.
A few moments later.
Right? All I hear Prime Minister Young talk anything about saltfish. He says sardine. But if someone to make a conversation, he next drunken word that rhymes with hunt. Laughing. Everything them does life for. So you can make a joke with the sardine. You go with saltfish and he was getting saltfish for all the time because he said so. He never said anything about saltfish. So these little things, if you got life for little things, you think you got life for big things? And Tanku, it's right in all the manifesto like you don't read. All you don't read, it come out of all your manifesto that all you still have and still using that all you will devalue the dollar. You don't understand what it mean by the dirty float and all them things. Like you wanted to see the word devalue the dollar. You don't know what it mean with dirty float and all them kind of thing talk. But probably they needed to put it just so you understand what that means. So people are just showing all, we're talking leadership. We're talking about who best to lead this country in these times. We're talking about bringing up minimum wage and taking the profit, taking the they would drop thing on gas and all that. But ex-granny workers, all it falling for that talk again from Kanwa Prasad Bisesa, but again all the things. My historical reference was just for historical reference because I want all to tell me what again all they need to get that all they didn't get. I still don't understand what all they get, what they didn't get. Is it you all saying that all they never get the money from the retrenchment packet? Is that what you all are saying? Or is it some get and some didn't get? Or is it some get a piece? I need to understand. Could somebody inform me? Because to me, every time you turn around, the Caroni ex-workers who was operated on a company that it is put in writing was not making money. It was a burden. That was the first refinery. Them come like the first refinery. After them was Petrotrin, the refinery. And Petrotrin is the company, but you know what I'm talking about. So Caroni was the first Petrotrin. What again you all need to get, because I don't understand. I really don't understand. Because nobody will be talking about compensating my ancestors for the work that they do. And do not tell me no foolishness and class indentureship and enslavement is the same thing. No, two different things. Chalk and cheese. One had a choice, one didn't have a choice. We were never slaves. They enslaved us. We never had a choice in that plan them had for we. But indentured laborers had a choice. They could have come, or they could have stayed, or they could have not come. They had a choice. I'm not saying condition would have been perfect, but it was 100% better than my ancestors had to go through in this country. I'm making it personal now. My ancestors. Nobody will pay me nothing yet. We have been patriotic. We have been here. We have been working, doing the work. Okay, I tell you, the time has come for serious talk on race relations in this country, you know. Because people who don't understand why I say in the first thing go jump and ball, I been racial, you know. I been truth, all I want the truth, all I want to talk the truth, I talking the truth. If any of the ancestors, African enslaved ancestors get money, or they tell me so we could put it up and show people. So let me continue. So I'm seeing that the Mahasabha just a minute, I go on the wrong place looking for it. So this was in the news day 18 hours ago. It says the Sanatan Dharma Mahasabha SDMS says it has purged itself of any ties to the opposition UNC and rejects any insinuation that it ever aligned to any political party. At the presentation of the UNC Coalition of Interest, 39 candidates at the Center of Excellence Makoya on April the 5th, UNC political leader Kamla Persad-Bissessar said, I have purged the politics of caste, class, nepotism, family connection, segregation, discrimination, and dynasty from the UNC. Ha! I say to that. Bull spit, I say to that. A subsequent newspaper article quoted some political analysts suggesting that Persad-Bissessar was referring to UNC founder Basio Pandey and the SDMS when she made those comments. In a signed statement on April the 10th, SDMS General Secretary Vijay Maharaj made it clear that the SDMS does not endorse, support, or aligns itself to any political party. He said the SDMS has always been an independent religious and cultural organization. The SDMS members, Maharaj, are free to pursue political activity within their constitutional right and have been members of different political parties over time. He cited the case of SDMS First Assistant General Secretary Dinesh Rambali as an example. Rambali was a former UNC Shogunas West MP and one of the 5 former UNC MPs who publicly questioned Persad-Bissessar's ability to lead the party to victory in April 28 general election. The others were Russian Pare, Anita Hayes Allen, Dr. Rai Ragbir, and Rodney Charles. Maharaj said Rambali made a personal decision weeks before April 5th to resign from the UNC. Rambali's resignation, he continued, happened long before anyone engaged in a tirade about a purge. Maharaj said the resignation was merely the final step in a broader and already well understood separation between the SDMS and the UNC. He advised people, including political analysts, who did not understand the SDMS role in the society, not to engage in conjecture. Maharaj repeated the SDMS is neither a political vehicle or a political party group for any purported political entity. He said any interpretation of SDMS in such a manner is disrespectful to the thousands of people it serves in the spheres of religion, education, and culture. Hey, everybody running from that bad soul that they call Kamla Persad-Bissessar. The only people running in is some who look like me, what I say, influencers. I don't know. So this is what Dr. Devan Maharaj would have written. It's a little lengthy, so I'm just going to read the salient points. So I'll start off with him saying the United National Congress, UNC, and Kamla Persad-Bissessar are peddling a toxic cocktail of reckless populism and fiscal fantasy, cynically promising tax cuts, inflated public sector salaries, and grandiose infrastructure projects. Yet to date, no economists have provided a view or a review of the UNC plan. The UNC's so-called economic revival is a shameless charade, offering no credible plans to replace the billions in lost revenues, revive the collapsing energy sector, or address the foreign exchange crisis their policies would exacerbate. The UNC now dares to sell voters the same empty slogans, masking their desperation for power with short-term handout that will plunge Trinidad and Tobago into deeper debt, inflation, and dependency on imports. This is not leadership, it is economic arson, trading the nation's future for a fleeting electoral sugar high. Who is going to be the UNC Minister of Finance to preside over this economic hit on the taxpayers of Trinidad and Tobago? So he went into some of the areas that Kamla Persad-Bissessar would have spoken about. Corporate taxes. They are saying lower corporate taxes over 5 years of SME, that is small something, can't remember the name, what it stands for again. But lower corporate taxes for over 5 years for SMEs to encourage business expansion and job creation. He is saying this reckless tax cut will starve public service of vital revenue at a time when Trinidad and Tobago economy is already crippled by high debt and dwindling energy revenues. It is a giveaway to a wealthy elite while schools and hospitals crumble. The next one that Kamla Persad-Bissessar said they're going to tackle is online purchase tax. They're going to abolish the 7% online purchase tax to ease customer costs. Devan Maharaj is saying a dangerous move that will flood markets with cheap imports while disseminating local businesses. This will worsen our foreign exchange crisis and kill jobs, classical UNC short-sightedness. She spoke of property tax. She gave a firm promise of no property tax to alleviate financial burden on citizens. Devan Maharaj says a populist gimmick that will cripple local government's ability to fund infrastructure and services. Trinidad and Tobago cannot afford such reckless giveaways when fiscal discipline is desperately needed. Kamla talked about housing. She housing pledge is to distribute 500 homes per week, 24,000 annually to address housing shortages. Devan Maharaj is saying, an impossible fantasy. Foreign exchange shortages make importing construction materials a nightmare. With dwindling oil revenues and high debt, this is just another empty promise from a party that failed miserably during its last term. Kamla and them speak about environmental approvals, and they say simplify environmental approvals for businesses while requiring environmental management system. Devan Maharaj said, a half-baked idea that ignores Trinidad and Tobago's fragile ecosystem. Balancing growth with environmental protection is hard enough without adding bureaucratic chaos. UNC's incompetence will lead to disaster. Kamla and them say with international trade, they will secure double taxation agreement with South America, West Africa, and the Commonwealth. Dr. Maharaj said, these agreements are pie in the sky dreams. Negotiations take years while our economy bleeds. Political instability and low foreign direct investment. This is a joke. UNC trade vision is just hot air. On education, Kamla said language. They're going to make Spanish compulsory from preschool to facilitate trade with South America. Devan Maharaj is saying, Dr. Maharaj, a costly distraction when our education system is already failing. Teacher shortages and funding constraints make this impossible. Another UNC promise destined for failure. In education, Kamla said technology, reinstate laptops distribution in schools, and invest in computer technology. Oh Lord. Dr. Morad said, a reckless spending spree when forex shortages make importing tech equipment nearly impossible. This is not innovation. This is throwing money down a black hole while ignoring real economic challenges. Listen to me, it ain't had nothing Kamla and them say they're going to do in their manifesto that makes any damn sense. None. I read no more. I'm not wasting energy on this foolishness. Or they have a choice to make April the 20th. Right? Good governance, good leadership, or this pack of trash. That group of people who don't have the experience, don't have the patriotism, don't have the ability, don't have nothing to run this country, especially in this time. That is UNC. That is not an opinion I give you, that is a fact to me, based on all I see here. Okay. So, there is a gentleman called Gregory Maguire. And who is Gregory Maguire? Just tell you quickly. Gregory Maguire is the principal consultant of VSL Consultants Limited and the chair of MSG of the Trinidad and Tobago Extractive Energy Transparency Initiative. Mr. Maguire is also a member of the Board of Governors of the Caribbean Climate Change Center and a director of TOSL Engineering Limited, a graduate of the University of West Indies. Mr. Maguire holds a bachelor's and master's degree in economics with a specialization in petroleum economics. Petroleum economics. He is a registered commercial gas consultant. So the man comes with paper. This is what Mr. Maguire had to say, adding his voice to this madness that passed him. For all who laughing and grinning and giggling and laughing emoji and studying the UNC with their foolishness. He said, this ongoing narrative about how government wasted time and money on Dragon when those resources could have been invested in other fields is simply not true. All the evidence is there to be seen. Permit me to repeat. One, government does not invest in oil and gas exploration. The companies involved in Dragon, Shell and NGC were both at the same time involved in other EP activities within our waters. Shell is one of the largest integrated major globally. It's the one developing the Manatee field, which consists of an estimated 3.2 TFC of gas. This is expected to flow by 2027. Why Dragon? The Dragon is a proven gas field close to established infrastructure in the Shell Hibiscus field of the North Coast. The Dragon has an estimated 4.2 TFC of natural gas. The Dragon lies in the Marshall Sucre Basin, which has an estimated 14 TCF of gas. Politics aside, Dragon represented the quickest and surest means of boosting gas supply in Trinidad and Tobago to make up for the current shortfall between demand and supply, which today is about 1.4 BCFD. 3. Notwithstanding all the criticism, the opposition has confirmed that we understand the importance of Dragon, but we disagree with the approach of the government. We will negotiate with Trump. That is what them saying. Our comment about ugly saying just now. That's what them saying. So he's saying that is what the opposition come to. All of a sudden, they understand the importance of the Dragon, but they just disagree with the government approach, and they say they will negotiate with Trump. So does the opposition believe that if they are successful in negotiating with Trump, that they will access Dragon and other Venezuelan supplies? This after they had a very colorful description of Maduro. 3. Venezuela gas supply, along with new prospects from Guyana and Suriname, will be critical to the long-term sustainability of the TNT gas industry. 3. While Dragon was being pursued by Shell, several other projects were and are under development by BP, EOG, Woodside, Perenco, and same Shell. The Cypress field is currently in production. 4 others are under development: Manatee, Mento, Coconut, Ginger. These will be brought on stream between now and 2027. 4 others are proven and waiting. Final investment decisions is Calypso, Jackbox, and Onyx, Frangipani. So they are waiting for investments now. There are several other blocks currently under exploration in TNT. There are also 2 solar farms projects ongoing with investment from BP and NGC. I hope this helped to clear the blinkers, earmuffs on the eyes and ears of those who have TNT at heart. Right? All is not lost, right? And has never been lost, because this government has always understood what is needed when they are negotiating. Here the word is about negotiations, right? So I'm looking and seeing that these people are on stage with Kamala Prasad, Bissessa, and them in she meeting. A town hall meeting. That is Roger and Lisette. And all of them looking terrible. And somebody else. I want to ask Mr. Anisette, does he have a case ongoing in United States for, I'm going to put it plain, touching a woman, I think she vagina and she boobs or some bacchanal, so whatever it is? Does he have that case going on in America? And is he the president of SWWT? Asking that. Well, answer Roger, we know he has no shame, he's a dog. All them things about Kamala is say the most corrupted party, they bring the country to the brink where security is concerned with the money, and they right back there again saying that them is the party to be in office. Boy, hey, they're not right here. So let me continue quickly. So Prime Minister Young was speaking about a situation that would have caught his eye. And I want to read quickly because this is important.
As an involvement in crime. And I'm going to give you some examples of what is happening right now in the campaign with the UNC that shows that is not going to solve crime. You cannot be part of a problem to be part of the solution. I left a meeting the other night. I can't remember which one it was. And I have a young supporter from Water Street, North St. Anne's West. Somebody who was, look him right here, Keon. Keon has been with the PLM forever. When I came in 2014, Keon has walked with me every single time I walk, wherever I am. Keon lives in East Water State. So when I got home from the meeting the other night, constituents in Water State, North St. Anne's West started to send me a video. And that video got me really, really angry. Because that video was of a UNC paid supporter. Everybody in the constituency knows he is paid by the UNC. You know they're supporting some candidate, they sell them to them, they're orange, some Philip, something on the other. Keep on walking home with his wife up Quarry Street in East Water State. And this UNC representative, he is a UNC representative paid by the UNC, takes out a video to put up on TikTok of him abusing Keon for Keon being dressed in PNM red and his PNM jersey and cussing him for PNM. And that is the behavior of the UNC. And people, if you are living with criminals like that and you're promoting criminal behavior, how could you tackle crime? The next video, and these are happening nowhere. This is not in the past, this is happening now. This is part of their campaign. Sent to me the other night by concerned PNM people. A video of a young guy in a UNC yellow jersey, as Foster said, join this. And he there on the jersey talking on TikTok, I use TikTok, saying that he buy 1,000 tie wraps. And he went and look for PNM people and all that, and cussing away at PNM people and how he going to use those tie wraps and tie up PNM people from voting in a UNC jersey paid by the UNC. We cannot sit here quietly in this country as right-thinking citizens going on and say nothing about it. So I am standing here tonight telling the country, putting the country on alert that these tactics that they think are okay, and are also going to add to it the element of race, because they are using black Trinidadians to try and sell this, because they think they are sucking us off the state. And I am standing here tonight as the Prime Minister of Trinidad and Tobago, as the Chairman of the PNM, as someone who is asking for your vote for this government to lead us forward, to tell Trinidad and Tobago, reject that. Because if you are using criminals, and those are just two examples. Everybody knows what is going on. Do not be fooled. This yellow is the code. It's a psychological thing to take us for fools. And it is a psychological thing. Look at who they're using the message. Why are they doing that? Trinidad and Tobago, I am not going to stand like quietly and see Cambridge Analytica 2.0 by the UNC once again taking place in this. I am calling it out here tonight. That is a promotion of crime and criminality. You cannot have people offering themselves up to serve the cabinet of Trinidad and Tobago, who the intelligence agencies around the world will not share information with.
Right? That is Prime Minister. They're speaking out of experience. They want to talk about crime and the black youth all that. But when you look at the videos and things they're making and people have on the jersey, is the black youth and the black youth, whether male or female, behaving in a particular way. The incident he speak about with Keon there, you know why that one touched me? Keon is a special child. He's not Down syndrome, but he has special abilities. He has the wife and a little baby. Very slim body and all that. Don't interfere with nobody. He love the PNM. He love Mr. Manning. He love Prime Minister Stuart Young. He's a part of our constituency. He's there every time. Keon is see Keon there. He call, he see me. He will, he dies of. He and my pumpkins is when he see me, he say, where the boy, and bring him over thing. When they hug the thing, whatever. And to hear somebody abusing him or ill-treating him, that is hurtful. Because he don't interfere with nobody. And if he love the PNM and he want to represent the PNM, I want to leave him alone. Don't bring him into that. Don't do him them things. These are subjects I don't like to touch on as they're really emotional. So, this is Prime Minister again speaking.
I served for a time as Minister of National Security. I did. And I fought hard. Let me share with you all some of what we're going to implement. We are going to implement. The first thing I said is we are going to reform the way we appoint a commissioner of police. Last time we did that, first people to rush the court was the UNC, the Larry Freight Court. And now we have Larry Freight Court either. And we have young, bright attorneys in the People's National Movement who are Freight Court either. We're going to simplify the process. It is time in our writing of the next chapter we break hold of those shackles We need equipment, we need strategy. To successfully fight crime, you literally need a special squad. Not a special squad spread all over you. To fight crime, you need an elite squad. A squad of people with the best training, what I call the elite squad. A squad of people who on a consistent basis are subject to polygraph and for testing as their integrity. You need a squad of people that they know when they join that squad, they are the best of the best. And then anytime they get intelligence, so they're told a crime gonna happen here, a drug deal gonna happen there, a gang gonna operate there, not one of them in that squad, that elite unit, is going to pick up their phone and call or warn anybody or burn them. This elite squad will be put under the strategic leadership of the police, the right person in the police, and it will have the assistance of the right officers from the defense force, and we will give that squad the best tactical training available in the world. You see, by definition, when people think there's an elite squad and it's the best of the best, immediately those who want to be the best and know that they have to be clean and have integrity will want to join that squad. So it will not want for recruits and it will not want for personnel. That squad is not going to do what the normal police do. Because the normal police are playing an important role. Patrols, being seen, going to crime scenes, intervening. But this elite squad, and let me tell you something, it worked because I've done this under national security. They get the intelligence tonight from the equipment that is existing, and they know right. They have a drug shipment coming in on the southwestern peninsula tonight. Quietly, efficiently, they're there. As they come, boom, they hit them hard. This squad will have the best equipment. This squad will have the best tools, and it will be backed up by the best intelligence. We are going to expand undercover and covert operations. Because it's time to use that. And one thing has been lacking in the laws of Trinidad and Tobago. To make that a success, we are going to address that. There is no law in Trinidad and Tobago that allows undercover and covert officers to do their work without fear of prosecution. That coming too to allow them to do their job. This elite squad is going to have state-of-the-art equipment, rapid response capabilities, and they're going to do it in a manner that they actually put the fear back into the criminals. Because you see, there's an element of fear that has been lost by criminals. This squad will be dressed differently, they will look differently, they will have the best equipment and the best ability to do their job. And as it grows, I guarantee Trinidad and Tobago, the effect of that is going to be a positive one across the rest of the police service. In all of this, we recognize that unfortunately, one of the things that society is facing is gender-based domestic violence. There started a unit called the Gender-Based Domestic Violence, the Gender-Based Violence Unit. We're also going to put more resources in there because you have to move with the times. You have to understand that a person who has suffered abuse has to go to someone who's trained, someone who knows when you come to them to say what you want. Just say, well, don't sit up here. I will take the report just now, and that type of thing. And you see, these are the things that the next PNM government does, because they show, not only show, but it means that we care. You don't need somebody on a platform saying, I care for you, I love you, I go through, baby, don't cut you. Boy, that is not how you treat people. but it shows the mentality of how Kamla thinks. So tonight, I am telling you, we're also going to give more resources to that unit. The technology, we have already started upgrading the technology, but I can't give you the nitty-gritty of the type of technology, because I'll be giving away what we don't need to know about. Another thing we're going to do is we're then going to have rapid response joint task force. Not only the elite squad, and let me tell you how it's going to operate. Right now we have something called the National Operations Fusion Center, where you have police, you have defense force, you have the coast guard, you have the regiment, you have prisons, you have health personnel, you have everybody there. So if something comes in, all of them can fire, they know who to contact in their organizations. We have to ramp that up because times have changed. It can't be business as usual. We have to move ahead of what is coming at us. So we're going to have a National Joint Operations Command where we'll integrate the police, the defense force, customs, immigration, intelligence services, coordinated response to high priority security threats such as organized crime, human trafficking, illegal firearms, narcotics smuggling, and we're going to deploy these special tactical units trained for swift response as well. So it's not going to be the excuse of, well, go have somebody here. When the call goes in to the National Operations Fusion Center, they will determine what is the type of response, but they will have the ability to call out these swift response teams to get to.
Alright? So those are the plans that Prime Minister Seo has, the PNM has, to put in place once you vote them back into office. When you listen to Kamla Persad-Bissessar, and what they're talking, you're not hearing that. What you're hearing instead is a sort of pie in the sky and fantasy things that don't make no sense. These are some of the things again that the PNM will be looking at. And reform education, reform and revamp CSEC to reflect more modern curriculum, increase resources to technical and vocational programs for a more inclusive approach, remove VAT on school uniforms and textbook. In social, homeowners, 3,000 fully developed parcels of land at subsidized prices, low interest mortgage, pre-approved town and country house plan for 2 and 3 bedroom houses. In social development, virtual doctor visit for senior citizens, and that is simply that all your files will be uploaded at the relevant place, so that if you have an issue, you could call your doctor, you could call the hospital or call the doctor from home, and he could pull your file and look at it, and if it's something that you need to come in the ambulance will be sent and stuff like that. So you don't necessarily have to just go, excuse me, and sit down in casualty or in a doctor's office just like that again. So those are some of the initiatives. Not that every doctor going to your house, that does not make sense. It takes away time, it takes away productivity and efficiency. How much people will be able to see in a day if they go in house to house, right? No tax on public sector pension, food cards, double the amount of food cards, amend the means test to discontinue the automatic cancellation of household benefits when one individual surpasses the established income threshold or accept temporary employment. Introduce MILAT, military-led training program for at-risk men 16 to 20, establish safe homes and spaces for women, children, and victims. So these are some of the things that a red, ready, and responsible government is looking to do. On the other hand, probably that is why Jolene John was talking about saltfish. Probably that is why she hears saltfish. I want to let her watch this. Just give me a minute. This thing with Q on really. What are you doing on her? Don't interfere with them children, boy. Don't do them thing. Them trying to interfere with nobody. Don't interfere with them. Probably this is why Jolene John was talking about saltfish. She didn't hear sardine, she hears saltfish. And I want only to look at who put out this ad. Watch it carefully.
I wake up in the morning and I see the rising sun. I give thanks for life. I know I've been gifted with the opportunity to make a change, to make a difference, to become the greater version of myself. There is hope in the rising sun. Vote UNC.
Let's see who put up that ad. That's not double palm in the talk. What double palm? Where does go double palm and do? So just as Prime Minister Young said, they're using these black people are going to say we African youths. So that is an African person. So that's why Johnny got talk about saltfish. Double palm. Let me just be real now. Somebody can watch it because the way she get up there and thinking that this seductive thing, she breasts and them pumps so and all. Why is they using black people, children or black people allowing themselves to be using them thing? So we only go for prostitution. We's hoes. That's why I can afford to say $500 to make child. We's hoes. We's prostitute. So you can make a video like that to show you rise and white and walking in this seductive. What that has to do with you and the UNC? People, what are this subtle message? Last time that was portraying we like vagrants in the road. And when we go again, we banana to eat in a greasy bag. Now they're doing it a little more sophisticated. The girl and she nice weave and things. So you go watch it and say, oh God, the bedroom nice, eh? And it's a bedroom, eh? Bedroom nice and she nice body and all that. But what's the message they're sending and then it's double palm? That is hoes, eh? Black woman is hoes and prostitute. So when a young black girl, what I want to be like she and not understand the implication. Why is that to be in a bedroom? Why can be sitting down in your living room or in a veranda in your house, but a bedroom? Eh? Or they look at these subtle messages that these people send, you know, or they don't get tied up, you know. Okay. So let me continue. So Victor Roberts, in a PLM jersey, you know. I just want to show a little piece because I want to wrap up with something. It has some other stuff else to read, but I'll leave it for probably it's our time to talk that. Right, I talk the most important.
So, ladies and gentlemen, after listening to the Prime Minister last night in Point Fortin, together with the candidate and others, I have decided fully that I am endorsing Randall Mitchell as the next Member of Parliament for the constituency of Lavery. And I want Trinidad and Tobago to know that red is the word. Thank you. So, ladies and gentlemen.
Right? Red is the word. Yellow is not the code. So, we're seeing a whole exodus from the UNC, but I want to tell PNM people something. Don't get complacent and, but oh God, look how much of them leaving the UNC and they never tell you they're going and vote PNM. Eh? But the optics is good. I don't doubt that they're really fed up with the UNC because I am already fed up if I was a member of the UNC, the foolishness is going on with them kind of people there. So me and happen on that. But don't let that distract you all from the real scene. And the real scene, you have to go out in your numbers in all PNM, all constituency, whether it's PNM constituency or not. Go out in your numbers and vote resoundingly for the People's National Movement. Your vote will be counted even though you're not in a PNM constituency. So don't just ball, we're going to never win. So me going to vote. No, go out and add support. And I want to tell you something. This voting or let us take for granted. Like it don't matter. That wasn't something that we were able to take for granted in some years gone by, you know. Women weren't allowed to vote. Only people with property was allowed to vote. Not even some men was allowed to vote. People died for us to have the right to vote. And we just sit down here and well, me ain't going and vote now. It has some country right now in the world still where they don't vote, where women can't vote. And we'll have the opportunity to exercise all the franchise, to go and vote, to make a difference, to make a choice. All about me voting, me a time with that. You know, if we wasn't able to vote in this country, we'd have been marching up and down, one the UN and this one to jump in so we could vote. Or they have the right to vote, or they want to vote. Let me tell reason why voting is highly important. 1, voting facilitates change. Looking to make a positive impact, voting gives you that opportunity. Whether it is to support a new candidate, legislation, or voting measure, it's your chance to make a difference and contribute to the common good. 2, voting impacts social issues. Many social issues influenced by election don't consider the opinions of all concerned parties. Issues with corporation, condominiums, or unions for re-electing managers or negotiating contracts require participation to ensure everybody has a say in the decision and law adopted. 3, voting is a pillar of democracy. An active voting community preserves one of the key rights in our society, democracy. When people participate in voting, elected leaders are more motivated to listen and represent their interests. 4, voting impacts our present and future. We hold the power to decide the well-being of our future generation. Our community consists of family, friends, neighbors, and children. When we vote, we protect their quality of life and in the future, today and in the future. Vote for yourself and for those around you. 5, voting protects human rights. Having a say in who governs aspects of your life is a fundamental human right. Without a voting system in place, people cannot participate. Leaders aren't held accountable, and human rights are at risk. 6, voting is a right and a historic milestone. Not too long ago, voting was only allowed for white men over the age of 20. It took long struggles, strikes, and protests to achieve today's voting equality, an incredible achievement not to be taken lightly. 7, when we don't vote, others vote for us. Minorities risk being overlooked on many issues, but voting gives them their power back. By choosing not to vote, you give that power to someone else. 8, every vote counts. Important elections can often be decided by small margins. While most elections aren't decided by a close vote, that doesn't mean your vote doesn't matter. For example, 2 votes out of 14,000 changed the seat of a New Mexico state representative. The probability of influencing the outcome of an election could be higher than you think. 9, voting has financial impact. Electing officials at any level grants them the power to manage our budget. Voting allows us to decide where the money goes, how budgets are implemented, potential taxes, and what gets funded. 10, voting is a thoughtful, confidential, and personal act. Voting not only gives us the opportunity to learn about important issues, but also ensures that we make the best choice. Researching, studying the topic, and then diving into discussions and debates help us make informed decisions rather than following the influence of others. We understand that voting can sometimes be confusing. Voters are here to simplify the process. Contact us. So this is coming out at www.volunteer.com. However, whether it was an American blog or not, it resonates to voting on the whole and what we have to do in this country. I'm telling you all again, voting has consequences. Not voting also has consequences. We are at a place in our history, we are at a place in the world right now globally. At first was globalization was the big thing. I remember writing my paper on the effects of globalization on small developing societies, like with emphasis on Trinidad and Tobago. That was the big thing then. That was in 2008-9. Globalization was it. Now we have another threat that we have to treat and deal with. Technology has more advanced now. Now we're talking about tariffs that are affecting the world. We're talking about a superpower who is imposing the might on others. We're talking about an era that is called for negotiation. You have to have somebody who could negotiate on your part. You have to have somebody who could go out there and speak to the world leaders. You have to have somebody who commands that respect. Could Kamla Persad-Bissessar and anybody in the UNC command that respect on the international stage or local regional stage? The answer is no. Could Michaela Pandey at this time in her political life with her new party and her members in her party, no disrespect to them, could they do the work in this time that is needed in a space with a president like Donald Trump with these tariffs and all these things happening? Could they do the work to meet and treat with anybody internationally to do the work? The answer is no. Could Philip Alexander and anybody from his team go out there internationally and speak to anybody and anybody have respect for them? They just have to pull up on social media and watch his TikTok, watch his video and see how nasty and dirty and stink that he is, that will want to meet with him and have a conversation. Would anybody want to meet with Roger and Anisette and then these failed men in the union movement to have any discussions with them on anything relating to labor or anything in our country? The answer is no. The answer is no. And all the other party, could anybody want to do international things with Fali and he crew, especially in a time like this, on behalf of Tobago? Could you see them going up to the White House? Could you see them going to international place in Mexico, in Hague, in Texas, anyway, to represent Tobago with any kind of clarity and experience and confidence? The answer is no. These are the things that they have to ask for themselves. It's not about, no, I don't like this one, I don't like this one. It's who could do the work right now, who has been doing the work, and who has been doing the work and continue to do the work in the energy sector and in other areas is Prime Minister Stuart Young. They know him. We are energy-based sector. We are into oil and gas. Right now, we need more oil contracts. We already have things happening now, but we need to source more gas and all that. Who is the man to negotiate on my behalf? It's not Kamla Persad-Bissessar. It's not Kevin Ramnarine. It is not Michaela and her team. It is not Philip Alexander and his team. It is not Fadi and his team. It is not. Let us be real. So if people want to sit down home because I don't like who the PNM put there and it should be a black man and I don't like this one and I don't like that one and me bound to vote because my vote ain't count, I'm fed up, I ain't able. And if all I want to sit down in these times and say them kind of rhetoric, these times are not normal times. This is not 10 and 15 and 20 and 30 years ago. These are times you have to be serious because your actions have consequences for your children and their children and our future and for Trinidad and Tobago. So I encourage and urge people, think about those things before you start about and not voting. Because all they can't tell me, all they have no problem with Prime Minister Stuart Young. Because when the blackest man was there, all they say too black and ugly to lead this country, all they cuss him every day, all they implicate him and lie on him and his family to this day. People will be putting about racism and pedophile. All they say the worst thing, and that man stand up at this country. He take us through a recession that Kamla Persad-Bissessar and Kevin Ramnarine and the PP party, them inducing this country. He take it through COVID-19, where people were falling on like flies all over the world. When Kamla Persad-Bissessar was taking the PNM to court every Monday morning for trying to save we lives. We lost loved ones, but it could have been worse. He steered us through it. Not a public officer lost their job. Everybody was paid at home. The essential workers are out there working. Patriots, we have to thank them also. The CM and all the doctors and nurses, everybody. He steered us through that, Dr. Keith Christopher Rowley. We never went to the IMF. And all this a cuss him morning, noon, and night. So don't tell me nothing now. But oh, he's not a black man leading. Don't tell me that choppy talk. Because he's a man who is a citizen in this country. He's a child of this country. And he's a part of the People's National Movement. He has been working and doing the work. He's not a stranger. They're just taken from a police service today, and the next day he's a candidate. He has been out there doing the work. So don't tell me no rhetoric and no stupidness about it. Why you didn't put a black man? Tell me the black man. Because we had a black man and they didn't appreciate the black man. So we go with a Chinese Indian man now. That is cosmopolitan. That democracy for you. What again you want? Why can't I don't leave and let Jolene John run things? Eh? She pissed not. You know what people used to say? That's what they used to say. I must have said the whole damn phrase wrong. Why she didn't do that? The PNM can afford to do that because you know what? Every creed and race find an equal place. And Dr. Eric Williams say, no matter India, no matter China, no matter Africa, no matter Syria and Lebanon, it's one mother we have. Mother Trinidad and Tobago. And all of his children are Mother Trinidad and Tobago. And a mother don't discriminate against his children. And you know, black women, black people that make all kind of child. We don't discriminate. So don't tell me no bullshit. So when you see August 28 come, think about all the things that happen in the world globally because we don't live in a bubble. We exist based on things that happening out there. We ain't living in a bubble by ourselves. Like how Canada said she could build a dome over Trinidad and Tobago to save it from COVID along with sunlight and punching. We ain't living in no dome. We living in a global space, an international space that all of we dependent on one another in one way or the other. And who you want answering the phone at Whitehall or the Diplomatic Center on April the 29th. You want Kamala to answer the phone? Eh? You want Michaela to answer the phone? You want Philip Alexander to answer the phone? You want Rosia and Anisette and them to answer the phone? Eh? You want Gary Griffith to answer the phone? Who you want to answer the phone on April the 29th to take us safely through this turbulent time, uncertain time? Who? Well, I go tell all you who I want to answer the phone. So let's sit down in a little corner and gruff up all yourself. But black and black and black and black. Sit down. Sit down. And all the influencers and them who just studying to eat for today and not studying the conversations all they having right now could impact on all the children. While it might be joke for all you, while it might be all they getting a little something because you don't get nothing. While it might be just that for all you. Or they don't not sitting down and understand the ramification of what all they're doing because it will harm all you. It will affect all you. Kamala Pasabi says I can't run this country. Kamala Pasabi says it's a 5-day weekend and she worse now. Kamala Pasabi says I'll be rambling. She could run any country. Paradat could run any country. Eh? Tanku could run this country. David Lee could run this country. Khadija Amin could run this country. Come now man, let me real. Them young budding politicians on Patriotic Fund, them could run this country in this time. We don't want an OJT. They will learn outside. And when years after, they could whatever. Who all they want? Who all they want to run this country? Let me be real. These are serious times and this is no time for no joking, you know. Or they have a choice to make, you know. Don't hold all their head like America, you know. Every day they march in America and they want to know why the African Americans enjoying with them because the African Americans tell them so. So I want them to say no, or they want to end up like them. The Latinos and the Bronx and all them, they went against and go and vote for Trump and now they're balling. They never think he would have carried out the deportation. They never think and all kind of think and think and think. Don't be them, you know. Because we're a small society, we go real feel it. You know they supposed to go eat grass? Well, trust me. And when we eat nutritious grass like rye and wheat and them thing, it go really be grass where cow and goat does eat. Play foolish, play stupid, and sit on home and those me vote in, PNM go win, me bound to go there, and feel that will happen because I'm telling you, in the Indian community, me vex them for that. They carrying everybody to vote. The children know they have to go and vote. All of them go in and vote, and one place they go in and vote, most of them. Because otherwise she just continue to get 18 seats. They vote in the Rising Sun. Or let's sit on the PNM constituency, another constituency, me ain't going and vote. None of them can do nothing. Really can't do nothing for we? Well, if the PNM can't do nothing for we, why all you was so all up in the Dragon deal? Well, they should have not even studied that. Why all was all up in it? And when Prime Minister go to meet Rubio, why all was up in it? If they can't do nothing for, why all they up in it? Why all was want this and want that and this and that and calling him? Why? Or they shouldn't expect anything. So I know they're talking foolishness. So I tell them all again, April the 28th, who you want to answer in the phone? Again, all again on Kamala Persad, Gary Griffith, Philip Alexander, them him and them from the Union Movement, Roger or Anisette and them, Michaela and she new crew. Who all want to answer the phone? Let me tell all you who I want to answer the phone. I don't know about all you. So let's stay home. Stay home. Stay home. And don't come out in the numbers in all the areas in Kuva South, Kuva North, Kuva East, Tabakit, Moruga, Tabbaland, all over. Don't come out and sit on home and then say I shoulda, coulda, woulda. Come out, you know. Come out, let PNM get the popular votes, you know. Let this year election be a historic, you know, where the percentage of people come out to vote is all 70% and thing, you know. Come out, you know. Let PNM get about 26 seats or 27 seats, you know, so they could do the work for this country, you know, led by Prime Minister Stuart Young. Okay, don't say Jen didn't tell all that, but this is why I want to answer the phone.
A man with energy, always checking for me. So let up at all, just answer when we call. Stewarty, with he can rock, he always vibrant and is strong, energetic and young, Stewarty. When I hear it, I didn't believe it. I went and checked it. They say he read it. We have a new leader, he's strong with willpower.
Alright, I'll stop in it for a minute just to answer a negative energy that come in my life. Marky Thunder Boom. I don't know what it is, probably the yellow all that be drinking from the UNC. So we don't have the Dragon deal. Okay. Kamala and David Lee and them say, if they get into office, I'm going to talk to America about the Dragon deal. I want to ask you something, because I don't want to call you ass. I want to ask you something. So you think America and Kamala and them can negotiate for the Dragon gas and then go into Venezuela without Maduro approval to get the gas? With all the sanction, you know that American companies are doing business in Venezuela? Venezuela is a sovereign country. So whatever deal, them imps and them talking. First of all, I want to be real with my conversation. Trump and them consider them minorities. The only people Trump and them consider is white people. So you can imagine Kamala and them going to talk to Trump and them. This is real talk, you know. But okay, they go and talk to Trump. Trump will say, okay, go ahead and get the gas from Venezuela. And Trinidad could run in Venezuela now and start to pump the gas. And Marky, and that's how it will happen. Any deal to make, when all I want to say the man is dictator, not dictator, whoever people vote for he, you have to consult with he at the end of the day. So Marky, all you get sense now. Get sense now. That yellow, all the drinking is doing something to all the boy. And even if the gas, Dragon gas deal, it cancel now. It's something called negotiation. Dr. Keith Christopher already said, and he said it rightly. Contracts are not made in stone. When conditions change, contracts could change. If you have a good negotiator, you could get something. That's why PSA can't get nothing, because PSA can't negotiate for nothing. And even if we don't have the gas right now from Dragon, it's not like we was getting it all the time. We have been making it work with the gas that we have and the different fields that come in on stream. It have Calypso, it have different, what, all of the read or what? But I would like to see Kamala Passabi says I want to negotiate with Trump for Venezuela gas, and they get them be okay and running Venezuela without Maduro having consented. Behave a damn self. Let me start back my blasted song, eh? This is why I want to answer in the phone when I call.
Slotty. A man with energy, always checking for me. So let of a call, let's answer when we call. Slotty.
With he can rock, he always vibrant and is strong, energetic and
he young, Slotty. When I hear it, I didn't believe it. I went and checked it. They say he runs it.
we have a new leader, he's strong with willpower. The best in trim they go, tell them Griffiths is so.
Slotty. A man with energy, always checking for me. So let of a call, let's answer when we call. Slotty.
With he can rock, he always vibrant and is strong, energetic and
he young, Slotty. He's the future Prime Minister with so much bigger, he can't get better.
Mr. Taco Energy, he rescued that for me. Then he fights for more money to put resilience in the treasury.
Slotty. A man with energy, always checking for me. So let of a call, let's answer when we call. Slotty.
With he can rock, he always vibrant and is strong, energetic and
he young, Slotty. As an attorney, he's poverty empty, and the demons, the country in good hands.
It will be there to show the economy will grow, negativity will go, better days watch when they go.
Slotty. A man with energy, always checking for me. So let of a call, let's answer when we call. Slotty.
With he can rock, he always vibrant and is strong, energetic and
he young, Slotty. Let's come together and support our leader, so things could get better with a brighter future.
Young and old have gathered around, everywhere that he touched down, effective leadership and in TNT we love him so.
Slotty. A man with energy, always checking for me. So let of a call, let's answer when we call. Slotty.
With he can rock, he always vibrant and is strong, energetic and
he young, Slotty.
Roxanne want to hear, just for Roxanne, quick before we go. Roxanne want to hear that horn. Let me see the horn, let me see the horn, let me see if I get the horn. Oh God, it's a real man can't take this horn. Oh God. Oh, just now, wait. Yeah, that's so wait. Oh God, let me get that horn. I wonder if it's this one. No, but which one it is? Oh, PNM coming. Oi! PNM coming. Oh God, wait. Oi, this is for Roxanne. Oh God, I hope it's this one. Another one. What the damn thing, man? Oh God, only give me a minute. Roxanne, I'm playing this one for you. What the damn? Oh God, look at here. Nice, another one, but which one it is? Roxanne, which one it is, boy? Let me see if it's this one. It's not that one, boy. Let me see if it's this one. Not that one, neither, boy. Oh God. people. It's the weekend. If you're attending meetings, be safe out there. Be safe over the weekend. We meeting here Monday. Go spare something, say something. You just take your Jenny and sister Jenny, auntie Jenny. If you want to get for a dish or a present. Another dish on every talk you take. Marky is a bad spirit, boy. It's a bad vibe. Go from here, boy. Go from here, boy. You're taking them talk, boy. Go by Kamla and them and talk. Go by Kamla and them and talk all the foolishness. Nothing for UNC, boy. Nothing for UNC, boy. Hear them all the way. We ready and responsible. Ready to run this country. Kamla time has passed you like them lime and them will get hard and dry. Can't get no juice from that again. We God love all you. Have a blessed weekend. See you on Monday. God stay our God. This is for Marky. Damn trippy. Our God love all you. Love all you. God.
Red and ready, here we on. Red and ready, here we on. Calling all the Red Army. Red and ready, here we on. We on. Oh, na na na. Red and ready, here we on. Calling all the Red Army. Red and ready, here we on. Trinidad and Tobago. Red and ready, here we on. We on. We ready now. Calling the Red Army. Calling out all of we friends and family with love for TNT. From the mountain top to the valley low, everywhere we go, country before party. We working together. We